But I just want to mention one funny story quickly in the locker rooms, like the showers. I think I told you this, but when we were showering, there were like more private stalls. Like it was completely like the only thing that was like a gap off the floor, but then the walls were like fogged glass. So I dropped, like all of us were just butt ass naked in there showering, right? And there were like dudes like in the not, because there were two types of showers, the ones with the stalls and then just fucking open. And there were people in the open showers just butt ass naked, like dudes just dick swinging and shit. And I was in the stall and I had to fart this whole fucking time that we were in the Blue Lagoon.
You didn't fart in the Blue Lagoon?
No.
It would have bubbled up.
Because I was scared. Like, you know, like when you ever fart in a shower, the heat, the
and
mist,
it's just dense, bro.
It makes it worse. So I was thinking if I farted in the Blue Lagoon.
Nah, but it smells like sulfur out there anyway.
It does. It did.
That's
did
one
like
thing
sulfur.
we didn't mention. Like all these thermal pools and all that stuff, they're all like geothermically heated, if that's even the word.
It is, yeah.
And it has those sulfuric compounds in there, and it smelled. Driving through Iceland, you get pockets of sulfur pretty frequently.
Like pretty intensely too.
Yeah.
It smelled like straight up rotten egg yolk in your car.
Yeah, it smells
in
like
the bus.
eggs. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then like,
so you would have been fine. You would have got away with it.
I probably would have, honestly. Shit and egg smells differently. So it's almost like, yo, who the fuck diarrhea
as long
in the
as something
pool?
doesn't float up to the top,
Yeah,
you're
that would
good.
be pretty bad. And then I have to like do one of these and fling it. Yo, could you imagine?
Part of the mask.
Yo, you're walking in the fucking mist. All of a sudden, you just see a brown turd flying through.
Turn somebody into Squidward, bro.
Yo, that's disgusting. Anyways, we were in the shower and I had to fart the entire time. But I didn't. I was holding it, and it starts like, you know, like when you can't fart or you hold in a fart for too long, it like bubbles back up your colon.
Yeah,
and it hurts though. Has that ever happened? It's never hurt.
I can't say.
Maybe this is a husky dude thing. It hurt because it was bubbling back up the whole time we were in the water. Then it starts coming out. I'm like, I gotta let this one out. But I'm so like, we're in the showers. There's literally like 20 dudes surrounding.
This dude played the trombone.
All of a sudden, I hear like just like a loud rip, and I'm like, hold on, that sounds a little familiar, because you know, like
it sounds familiar.
Like, you know, like when you're like,
what
you know
that,
what
Andy?
my fart exactly. you know what my farts sound like. Like yeah, like he knows what my farts sound like. I have a pretty good sense of like what the other boys' farts sound like. So I heard this fart. I'm like, that kind of sounded like Andy's fart.
That sounded like Andy's booty hole.
It did. So I was like, Andy.
I'm dead.
I go, Andy, did you just fart? He's like, I'm ripping cheeks, bitch. Like, he was just like no shame. So I was like, all right, bet. So at that point, I just went fucking, I did that. Like the fucking like frog farts. And it felt so good. So yeah, so take it away. What do we do
story.
afterwards? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
Great
off.
tangent there. Yeah, so after all that happened, thankfully I didn't get ready with you guys. It would have been extra sulfur
showering
in here.
in ass gas.
Dude, mustard gas.
Mustard gas.
So after that, Blue Lagoon was southwest of Reykjavik.
Oh, was it?
Reykjavik was southwest of our second Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
So if you drew a line from Reykjavik, so in terms of the camera, Reykjavik, Blue Lagoon, and then our second Airbnb. So from Blue Lagoon, we had to pass Reykjavik to get to the second Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
So after Blue Lagoon, we went to Reykjavik, had dinner, tried a few things, had like, you know, the tasting menu, whatever.
We had a hot dog that night, didn't we too? Or was that another night? That was another night. That was the night we had the fish and chips. Were you almost concussed yourself on the fucking land?
Oh, when I got up? Yeah.
That's another memory, but go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
So yeah, we had like, you know, we had just some tasting. We had some reindeer that day. We had some like beef tenderloin. We had some, there was pretty good.
You had like a shrimp creamy thing
That
too.
was Kelly, langostine and cream thing. The bread and butter was pretty solid, I gotta say.
The butter there was like full fucking fat European rich good butter.
It was good. What else? There was a few other things.
What'd you think of the reindeer?
It was a little like it was really soft and chewy and stretchy to the point where it felt a little too tender.
It didn't feel like meat.
Yeah, it felt like very like slimy.
It was almost like powder.
I would say
gritty,
it was
like I don't know how to explain this.
I would say it was just like
You ever have liver?
no.
Okay. It has the texture of liver.
It was just like stretchy in your mouth. Like it just but like soft, like a very soft, stretchy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
So yeah, that was that. We had a few other things I can't really remember, and then we went back to the second Airbnb.
No, we did. You're missing the shark. That was the night we had the shark.
That was the night?
Yeah, because remember we didn't get dessert there because we're like, oh, whoever wants dessert, just get it at Cafe Loki.
Oh, yeah.
But then I was like pushing. So after this,
that felt like it was late in the trip.
it does, but it was literally the midpoint. I swear to God, it was after that meal.
We're gonna have to fact check that one.
I promise you, it was after that meal.
It felt in my head. That felt like later on in the trip. But hey, look, you might be right though.
Look,
I know exactly. You're right. I had a good meal.
I don't want to. Yep,
exactly.
You're right. So after we had this fantastic meal, like it was a great meal. The tasting menu was good. Shout out to Miguel and Erica for finding that place. And then we were just eating that good food. And then afterwards, because I'd been dying to try this fermented shark, I've dragged him through the fucking mud and making him try shit. That
Episode what? 27.
Some shit like that. I mean, no, this was recent. Yeah, actually, probably 27, 28. Pocky one chip. I think I traumatized him because now if I'm like, yo, you go, he's like, fuck that shit. So I was telling them, if you don't know, fermented shark, only place you could get it in the world is Iceland. We didn't go over this, right? In the previous section.
No.
So the only place you get it is Iceland. It's like a age-old delicacy.
That's not
the
a
culture.
Delicacy. That's a tradition.
I feel like in culinary things, the word delicacy is used very...
Yeah, that's liberally. That's just like, they just smear that wherever it's some weird, unique food.
It's very strange. But that shit, it's basically like the shark meat, it's like almost blubber too. It's not even like the muscle, like fibers.
It just looked disgusting.
Yeah, it was just like tissue. And
it looked like cold Vaseline.
Oh my God.
Right? It looked like frozen Vaseline that they chopped into cubes.
Cubes of frozen Vaseline is literally like foggier. Yeah, like literally like Vaseline.
Opaque-y,
It was fucking gross. So apparently that meat, if you don't ferment it, like if you just were to catch a shark and then eat that meat, I don't know what shark they fucking catch it from, but...
The ugly one.
The Greenland shark?
Yeah, that ugly one.
That might be the Greenland shark.
That's what they said.
So that shit, if you eat it after catching it, it's actually toxic because there's certain levels of like high levels of whatever the fuck. I'm not a doctor, but it'll fuck you up. Like it could actually kill you. It's like very bad. The only way to get that out is to ferment it. So you just you hang it in a shack and then you just let it rot for literally like months on end. Like,
don't they put like stuff in it?
Maybe like salt to cure it. No, it's not even
like
cured.
Isn't it like in Brennivin too, or is that just a shot after?
I have no idea. I don't know about the
processing.
But it has
such an ammonia smell.
You know what?
It's like,
let me look it up.
Disgusting.
So so go ahead. You tell your perspective. So we walk back up to Cafe Loki.
So yeah, we go up to Cafe Loki. That's the second time we've been. We order a carrot cake and a skyr cake.
For those who didn't try it.
Yeah, and then they were pretty hell bent on eating that fermented shark. And I was just like, you know what? There's nothing really good that I'm gonna get from this experience besides nasty flavor. And we were like watching videos and reading about what it was like to eat that. And they said that stays in your mouth for like 2 hours, that flavor or something like that. And something like really long that it would just screw your night. The flavor profile will stay in your mouth for a really long time. I was like, you know what? I'm good. There's no need to subject myself after the one shit that's in my head. There's no need to subject myself to that nastiness. What is it?
Okay, so the newer fermentation process, not like the traditional, because the traditional involves like burying it in the ground. You cold store it in boxes for around 6 to 9 weeks. So it just ferment after gutting it and cleaning it in its own juices. And then you hang it to dry outside for 6 months. So 6 to 9 weeks in a box. They definitely
put stuff in it because
probably. I mean, I would think so, right?
Because it had like remnants of like some like liquid. It just smelled like cleaning product.
Like it was just very high ammonia.
Product.
It was overwhelming amounts of ammonia.
Yeah. So that was disgusting. So it smelled. Is it the Greenland shark?
Yeah, the Greenland shark is cured with particular fermentation process. One of the old ways is that the shark is gutted, beheaded, and placed in a shallow hole dug in gravelly sand. The shark is completely covered with sand and piled stones on top for 6 to 12 weeks, depending on the season. This way, the fluids are pressed out of the meat. The shark is then cut into strips and hung to dry for 4 to 5 months. The crust is removed before cutting the shark into small pieces and serving. Often sold in small plastic containers where it has been cut into small cubes. Then with a toothpick, you basically eat it with a toothpick. The new fermentation process involves cold storage boxes and then hung outside for 6 months.
So I guess I ended up not having it. I ended up backing out. Whatever. I didn't have it. That looks like death.
That is fucking disgusting. I got to take a picture of this and put... All right, what we're looking at on the screen, you'll see right now.
That's part of the fermentation process where it's drying, I guess, right?
In the fucking shack for 6 months.
You can put the picture of the cubes, right?
Yeah.
So like once of you guys.
Yeah.
So what did you think of it?
First of all, like, you went into the smell, but when we ordered it...
How many people are doing it?
It was 4 people. So it was Andy, me, Kelly, and Vishal. There's a video of us trying the whole thing that's documented.
And I'm shocked that Kelly went for it.
I'm honestly really surprised that she did too, because as we've I think was said like earlier on, like she doesn't really like really adventurous foods like that, or extreme flavor profiles, I would say,
or textures, like ooh.
And she literally tried like what is ubiquitously considered one of the grossest foods on the fucking planet.
Nastiest foods in the world.
I to make that jump was pretty impressive. So when we had this shark, right, 4 of us tried it. I'll play the clip right now.
Take a decent size shot. You want this one? Yeah. Did you get it? I think it's different when you whip it straight up. It smells like ammonia, No, it's so much different when you smell it straight up like that. It smells like a cleaner. Okay, it smells like it's candy. You know, if you think about it as a cleaner, it's actually not that bad. It's candy. Like if you think like urine, it smells like urine. But did you smell it? Smell this. I'm gonna try to savor this. Sure. You're good. Ready? Yeah. Cheers. Smell it first, then do it. Ready? The
salt's dumping it.
Not as bad. I'm throwing the whole thing out. It's not as bad as it smells.
Why are you crying? My heart is pumped, but it's not as bad as it smells.
Oh man, that was really. That took a lot of me to not have. All right, now I'm gonna do what I said I was. Oh, you guys gonna take these?
The shot's gonna be worse.
The shot is most definitely not worse. That shit is 1,000 fucking times worse. That's not. Alright, we did it.
Basically, when it came out in a little like ramekin, and there was like 6 cubes because there was 2 left over after all of us had one. And then each of us got a shot of Brennivin, that horrible liquor that we were talking about before, the Black Death. And that shit's giving us shivers already in its own right. That's the stuff you use to remove the flavor of this nasty shit after you've consumed the shark. See, so the guy comes out.
God. No, it's just nasty on nasty.
It is
like,
gross.
There's no relief.
There isn't. It's just kind of like, just like if you were going through severe pain, you just like
do another pain
to distract from the previous pain. And the guy came out and he's like, all right, so, you're supposed to eat this by, you put the thing in your mouth, chew.
7 to something times.
Yeah, like 7 to 10 times, and then swallow, experience the flavor, and then shoot down the entire shot of the Brennivin.
My God.
So he brings it out. It's so funny because it's so small, these cubes, and when he puts it on the table, you don't smell it right away. But when you put it up to your nose, it's just like
smelling salts.
Yeah, like your whole sinus just goes like it like opens and it just and it's just like you feel it like all the way in the back.
It like permeates your body. It's just like
it's insane.
It's just you feel it when you smell it.
It's insane. It's honestly insane. It's unlike any other, like no food has ever smelled that strong.
No. Yeah.
I will say that the taste of it was not nearly like half as bad as the smell, as often the case with these gross foods. But we all were like, I was shaking. I actually was shaking because, again, Hannah has my girlfriend has a really severe like phobia of vomiting or like gagging anything. And I legitimately was convinced because I was on a full belly at this point from the previous dinner that we had just
that
had.
would have came out.
And I was scared. Like, we sat on the edge of the table in case some of us had to, like, run to the bathroom, which was, like, you know, like a couple feet away or, like, a couple, like, 15, 20 feet away from where we were sitting. And we were just like, all right, if any of us feel like we're going to throw up, just run to the bathroom. So we smelled it. We cheers. We start biting it.
Everyone's looking at each other.
Like, reacting.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll just say that when my teeth pressed down on the cube, it literally just smushed and went around my tooth.
Oh.
And it was like oily blubber that was like after. So this is the fucking nasty shit. After it went around and like went around my tooth, and then I went like that. It popped and then went. It regained its form a little bit. So that's why you have to, Diva. So that's why you have to chew a bunch of times because it's like
blubberish.
It's just like rubber. So you have to really grind it and break it apart. And
God.
It's just age nasty shit.
So you said that you feel like that wasn't, the smell was worse.
The smell was way worse. Yeah.
You know what I think? We really looked into this and we really like read the worst things about this.
Yeah, we did.
So for you guys to then have it, you were expecting death, like the absolute worst,
like instant throw up type of thing. Yeah.
What I think gets people is when they just see it on the menu and they're like, oh, you know, this is a traditional thing, like, you know, you got to try it, and they have no idea the background of it. They have no idea what they're getting into.
Yeah.
And then they do it and they eat it and it just hits them like a brick wall.
Yeah.
So I think the reason why it wasn't so bad is because the anticipation of it. You guys like really were like, this is going to be the worst thing I've ever had. And perhaps it could have been. But since you guys were prepared, you know, you were expecting the worst. So your expectation to what it was matched. Or even you expected it to be way worse, right? Whereas other people, if they don't have expectations of what it is, they're like, oh, it's just a piece of fermented fish, like whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they just get blindsided hard.
That's a good point. That's a good point. To me,
because you guys took it like champs.
Yeah,
you guys were like, what?
It was gross, but it was definitely not the nasty shit. The nasty shit I've eaten is natto because I wasn't expecting it to be.
Oh, the fermented soybeans.
Yeah, but literally what you're saying, I knew it was like considered like not the best food, but I didn't.
That sticky stuff, right?
Yeah, like when it came out in like the little sushi roll. This is like when I went visited Japan. I didn't smell anything. And then when I ate it, it tasted like vomit. Like it tasted like sour, like legit vomit.
Yeah,
and that shit, that was like, I had a really hard time swallowing that. Like where it like, you know when you're about to swallow some shit that you're like grossed out about, you're like, like it's about to come back up. It was like that. So yeah, we had that, took it like champs, finished it off with some skyr cake. The Brennivin was like, my stomach had to be, bro, I feel bad. Like the Brennivin was sitting and then the little cube was just like
floating around
in the fucking Brennivin, sitting on top of the food that I had that night before. Vile.
That's nasty.
Vapors of alcohol with ammonia.
That's gross.
My breath, disgusting. I did taste it for a while. And Vishal
said the same thing.
After he blew his nose for like the rest of the trip, he'd be like, yo, do you guys like smell like ammonia? After he blew his nose 2 days after. It was crazy.
I'm good. So for all those reasons, I'm good.
I'm a little sad that you didn't get to try it.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't feel that bad.
So you're good, right? And
you like
obviously,
the memories.
I honestly, like, selfishly, if I saw you react, I think it would have been like one of the funniest things ever. Like, and I wish, and all of our reactions are on camera, as you saw, but it's just like, yo, because you have a very expressive face, you would have been like, you would have been like, I'm gonna fucking hurl. So
maybe at some point we'll find our way to Iceland again, and I think I can't pass it up a second time.
Oh, dude, and puffin, well, you know, that's a whole other thing that you got to try that too. I think you'd like that.
So after that, we went back to the Airbnb, we got situated, whatever, and that night was the night we saw the Northern Lights.
Holy shit, it was. That was the first time we saw the Northern Lights. We were like,
this is our first night at this Airbnb, and that was an adventure of its own.
Yeah, because the addresses in Iceland are pretty, like, they're just not, you're not used to it when you're from the States, obviously.
But like, yeah, so we had a little trouble finding it at the beginning, but we ended up getting there, getting situated. We were just chilling, whatever. And like out of nowhere, who like first pointed it out?
Erica.
Okay.
She was downstairs by herself because we were upstairs, I think, like doing
So
something.
in the sky, there was just a little speck, a little line of green.
Mm-hmm.
And then little by little, we all went outside and we're like, oh, look. And slowly,
Mm-hmm.
this line kept growing throughout the sky and making its way across all the way back to the horizon in the back.
Yeah.
And there was another little peak from the back of the horizon, and they eventually went and met up.
Yeah.
And then there was a band throughout the whole sky, and little by little, that band kept bending and shifting, and it turned into like, it looked like an eye of a storm. It was bending, and little light was almost like dripping off of it.
And you see it move too. Like that's like when they say like the dancing lights.
Yeah, so that was beautiful, and seeing it there, and then we played some music
We
too.
played what was the Cornfield Maze
from
Interstellar. We also played, I think I played Kind's Peace from Skyrim.
And I played Far Horizons.
Yep. Oh my God,
Skyrim.
I just got chills thinking about that.
That was amazing.
I will say, like, the Northern Lights, it is, I think all of us can agree, like, since we were kids, that's something that it's just like, that's on your bucket list when you hear about it.
Oh yeah.
When we went, not saying that it's not a good experience, it's an amazing experience, but the experiences we had were not like, it wasn't Iceland's like strongest, I mean, obviously you can't control this, but it wasn't like the strongest Northern Lights.
Yeah, so that's the thing, like,
So go into that, yeah.
we weren't like, it sounds bad to say, oh, we were underwhelmed, but we just didn't have the strongest showing that the whole sky was lit up.
Yeah,
we had
and-
one band of it and whatever.
And the band itself wasn't like saturated green.
We didn't see like purples or anything.
Or blues or reds.
It was like green and like white.
Yeah. I'll
So-
throw up pictures right now. You'll see.
It was very nice though.
the
It was
camera.
beautiful.
The camera
helps it out.
because you do the long exposure, so it makes it seem like it was really bright, but it was dimmer than that in reality.
Yeah, but like I think when you're out there and you just take it all in and you're like, wow, this is something I've never seen before. How many things in the world can you say like, I've this is my first time experiencing this at the age of 24, 25.
Glacier.
I
Never
know,
seen a glacier.
like a lot of the things on the trip.
Yeah.
So like, it's just overall great experiences, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember or not right now.
I remember the
you know where we're going with this.
Yeah.
So okay. So after we wanted to do some Northern Lights chasing and go to where it was darker so we could see them better in hopes to see them a little better and brighter. So go ahead.
So we became like, if you know the show Storm Chasers, we were literally like that. So in a spurt of like spontaneous adventure, like this is the type of shit that I love. We're all just chilling in the house. We're thinking we're winding down for the night. We see that strip. Then all of a sudden we're like, holy fuck. Like literally earlier that day, the Airbnb person, the host, we asked her like, where's the best spot to see? And she directed us in like a direction more remote, more eastbound, away from Reykjavik, in a valley. And there's one road that goes through this valley, right? Like literally 2-lane, like in, what is that called?
Yeah, it's just
It's just like a
2-lane, like
highway, kind of.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like a country road, but it's like, for them, it's a highway.
It's like a route whatever.
Yeah. Like literally, it's just like a route. And it goes through this valley. And she told us to go like in that direction towards the east, right?
You go far enough out and there's the street lights stop. There's no street lights anymore.
There's no more city lights, so the light pollution is like very fucking low, right? And she told us that's where you have to go to see it. Earlier that day, we see the fucking Northern Lights on the first night, and then like literally people are just like, we gotta go. And then it catches like wildfire. Everyone just frantically starts putting on clothes, gearing up for the cold. And then we get in the car and like in a caravan, we take off. Boom, we go. Andy's in front of us, driving his car. And Vishal and Sandra and who else was? That was it. Vishal and Sandra were in that car.
Drove.
I drove. You were in the passenger seat, and then Kelly and Hannah were behind us. So now we're like a caravan taking exits, and we're going down this road. And then all of a sudden, like we're passing street lights, shoom, 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 and then all of a sudden it just stops. And now it gets.
I remember
black.
that last street light too.
Yeah.
And then
it just gets darker and darker and
but
darker as you leave that
your
behind.
eyes adjust because you have the moon. It was a full moon when we were there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So the moon was shining against the mountains, and your eyes adjust and everything. So like it's just beautiful. Like the way everything looks, moonlit mountains, snow-capped mountains.
Yeah, and you could actually see the detail of the mountains. Like that's
and
how
the northern
yeah,
lights all mixing together. It was just like it was serene.
it was.
And then playing the music and just like
It was crazy.
it just felt so. It felt like you were in another world.
Yeah,
we
it
kept
did.
on saying it felt like we were just space travelers.
It was crazy. And then when we got to like so the point on Google Map that we identified that we were gonna go to get out of the car and like look up, we saw on maps that there were roads that like off roads that shot off of this main route. So when we got to it, we realized like okay,
we planned to turn into one of those small roads to park.
yeah. And then when we were approaching it on Google Maps, like on the navigator, there was no fucking road. Like it was literally just
It was probably just snowed over.
It was
Like-
in all reality there. It might have been there. It was probably there, but
Under
again,
like a foot of snow, and you couldn't.
how
even
you
tell.
said it before, the
Yeah.
roads are built on like a trapezoid, and the snow is so deep, so much snow that it just evens out, and you think
Mm-hmm.
it's like a plane, like level, like oh the road. There's just road, but it's covered in like a thin layer of snow. That's road right there. So we start going. We pass. We don't see any fucking road. So we're like, we'll just pull over to the shoulder, get onto like it's just a little snow. So we'll get on there, and then we're gonna be good, and we could get out. Kelly, when we slowed down, we pulled to the shoulder. Now at this point, basically the way I'll describe it is like the shoulder. I had the half of the wheels, the right wheels were on the snow, and then my two left wheels were on the road. Andy also started doing that. Kelly was the one who pointed out maybe you shouldn't go all the way in because like you never know. Thank God she said that.
You were gonna eat.
I was going to go in, and then I didn't. I kept my two wheels on the road. Andy went ahead and just went fully forward right as Kelly was like, maybe you shouldn't. And then it just stops, and the car literally goes in like that. It wasn't level. The snow was not level with the road. It went down, but because there was so much snow, it seemed level.
Funny thing is, they were the ones in the bus that got stuck in the snow too.
Holy shit.
All of them were.
Yeah, okay, so literally, like, it was two-peat with that
Yeah.
fucking same shit that happened. So Andy goes in, and we're like, you go ahead.
Yeah, so like when that first happened, in my head I was like, damn, they're gonna be stuck.
Like, we're fucked.
So we initially, like, without hesitation, we're like, all right, we gotta help. So we get out and we're getting out, but like in my head I'm like,
We're done.
there's nothing we could do.
Yeah.
There's nothing we could do for them. So we get out in a hurry and whatever, and then we run over to them and the how deep was the snow at
Yeah,
that point?
when we got out of the
It was
car,
like
it was
knee,
like,
right?
yeah, it was like up to here
Yeah,
on
see,
me.
you're taller, so my knees were like right around.
Yeah, so like it was like knee depth. Like
Yeah, it was
this
like
is-
right under the knee.
Yeah,
it was
like this
right
is
under.
no joke. It's not like a
So
foot.
the first two tires, his front two tires were in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
His back right was in the snow, and his fourth wheel wasn't. It was like right at
on
the edge of the
yeah.
road. So yeah,
No, you go because you were the first one that got there.
yeah. So yeah, I was because you were driving, so
Yeah.
I was able to get out first. So then I was there, and I was just seeing like what was going on. So I saw that, and then Andy was just trying to reverse it, and all you hear was the in the snow.
And you got out because you were like, wait, he can't do like it was. Remember, you got out quick.
Yeah,
'cause
because
he
it
like,
was
he's gonna
digging.
do-
It was like
and
digging
making
in.
the car deeper.
Yeah. So little by little, we're like, all right, you got to break the wheel so that you're getting a fresh patch
Yeah.
of snow. So broke the wheel to the left so that it can reverse him back. So then I got there and I was just trying to I just got by the hood of the car.
Yeah.
Under the front bumper, and I just tried to push it. It wasn't gonna do anything, but then
This is where the
then
shit.
Brandon and Vishal then come, and we were just like, all right, let's do this. And we just went, little by little.
We're just like
and
we're
the car, we were pushing the front bumper, and we heard the creak,
yeah.
of the joints of the bumper.
Oh my god.
And we were just pushing it, and little by little, we were pushing it together, and to get that. What's the word?
Momentum?
No, the resonance, a resonance frequency where you woom, woom, woom. We were hitting it like a swing.
Like we were trying to get in a rhythm.
Yeah,
like
we're
where
like,
when it
push,
comes
and
back,
then it came back, and then rocket, and comes back and rock it again,
Yeah.
right? So eventually, on like the second to last, we were moving it. We were like shocked that we were moving it. And then the second to last one, we're like, we just gave it all
And
we
then,
had.
Yeah,
And
we
just-
weren't put like swinging it at this point. At this last one, we just dug our
pushed
fucking feet in
And yeah, our feet were just
into the snow. And I felt like Kratos, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
We clicked the Spartan rage.
Yeah, and we're just like, and then literally like it was such. I'm getting chills right now because I remember I was leaning into it with my shoulders, everything. Like you're just giving it your all. And I
My
looked,
face was like at the bumper.
and he was just, and then we were just literally like guttural fucking Viking fucking. We're just like
under the northern lights, moonlit mountains, snow, wind whipping.
It was remember how cold it was when we got out?
cold.
Instantaneously,
It was
your fingers go
cold.
numb.
Yeah.
Instantaneously.
It was cold. So as soon as we got some traction and the wheels grabbed and vroom, went back,
We even got more
we
excited.
were just like and we just like screamed like to the it was
howling
just,
in the night. It
was
was
part of that was because we didn't think we were like we're screwed.
yeah.
And that like satisfaction, that achievement and accomplishment of like, yeah, we got this car unstuck when like no one else was on the road. It was just us.
We were by ourselves.
Like
guys.
how scary would that be if, you're alone, right?
No, you're fucked. You gotta call. You just gotta
yeah,
survive
but
the
then
night.
how
in the
long
car.
are they gonna take to get to you? Like
At least
you're in the middle of nowhere.
No, it was a dangerous.
So there was
situation.
part fear in it too that we
Yeah.
were just like, we got to do this.
So when we did it, straight pure
Emotion.
like emotion, raw, like elation, just like it was just joy. And then we were just like,
And we
like,
just screamed
into
to the mountains.
night, bro.
It was
Like,
just
it was amazing. And
that was funny.
then
So so we were like, all right, we're good here, whatever. Like, it hasn't really changed too much from when we were back at the Airbnb.
Yeah.
So we're like, you know what, it's cold. It's probably not good for us to be out here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just head back. So we head back, and then we go back and we're like, oh man, that was a crazy experience, whatever. Oh my God. Like this was like, weirdly enough, that was one of the highlights of the trip.
yeah, like getting ourselves out of that shithole.
So then we get back to the Airbnb and we're pulling in, and I'm like, oh man, that was crazy. All right, let's go. And I'm like, where's my phone?
I remember I just put the car in park, and I was just like,
And then I check my watch, and for those who have the Apple Watch, when you're not around your phone, there's a little red rectangle with a line through it, meaning your
no.
phone's not in detectable range. So I was like, oh, I left my phone somewhere. It wasn't too difficult to realize that I dropped it there, because I checked and I did the Find My iPhone thing and stuff, and like even without it, I probably would have realized that's where I lost it. So whatever. So we had to then go back all the way back out to where we were.
That remote
He was kind
ass
enough, and Kelly came too. You guys were kind enough to come with me and find it. But we went down the same highway, past all the lights, past the final light, and then we kept creeping, and it was like a giant like indication of where we were, with all the footprints in the snow, all the tire treads in the snow,
like the messed up snow.
yeah, like you could tell activity was there,
Yeah.
obviously. So we knew we were there. So we stopped, pulled over, and then I did on my watch the
to find my phone.
yeah. So then I heard it, but I didn't see the phone. I saw the tiniest little corner like this shown, little green little corner. So I then reached, pulled it out, and I
have a video that you'll see now.
It was under, when you step in snow, it leaves a footprint, and it's like harder, thicker snow.
Yeah.
I pulled it out, and I pulled half a shoe print of snow out with my phone. So it was like a footprint of snow, just like perfectly on my phone, and I just went.
Yeah.
You have the video,
I have the
right?
video. I'll put it up.
Went, and then the snow just like fell off the phone, but like that would have been very difficult to find.
In a way, like that, the fact that we got out to push the car, like
at some point it fell out and it got stepped on. Good thing it didn't get run over, because it would have shattered.
no, but that's the thing that I'm saying. Like the fact that it got stuck. I mean, if we didn't get stuck, you wouldn't have dropped your phone.
Yeah.
But the fact that we did get stuck and then pushed it, and then that we kicked up that snow, that's what allowed us to like see where it was. So it was kind of like a weird like
If it wasn't for
blessing.
that, we wouldn't have known where we stopped on the road.
at all, because it just looks the same. It's just
Yeah.
snow and
Oh my
road for
God.
fucking miles.
Yeah.
There's no way to differentiate. There's no
so
signs,
that-
nothing.
that was pretty crazy.
It was insane. Then we get back. We turned in for we were just chilling, doing whatever. We turned in for the night, and then the next day, this is literally the next day, is the
Oh
Golden
my
Circle
God,
tour.
yeah.
We just passed the halfway trip of this is gonna be a long episode,
This is
but
maybe 2 parts. I don't know. Who
it
knows?
might be 2 parts.
So then the next day is a Thursday. So we still have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, that's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff.
So Thursday was the South of Iceland tour.
Yeah.
With the snowmobiling. So
Golden Circle.
Sorry, Golden Circle with snowmobiling.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much we touched on this, but we did mention the blizzard, the whipping blizzard when we were in the hot tub. A lot of our activities got shifted around because of the bad weather.
Yeah.
So then we had to move around and stuff, and we moved around that tour. We put that tour on the Thursday because that was when it was rescheduled for and weather was better, whatever. So what was on that tour?
The Golden Circle tour, we had to get up, and it was like was it a 10-hour tour? It was a long fucking tour.
It's like 8 to 10, yeah, something like that.
The first stop was this national park where it was like, that's where we ended up actually going snorkeling.
Yep.
So there was a national park where there was like where these 2 tectonic plates meet, right? And there's like a rift or whatever.
It was called Silfra.
Silfra. That is where, okay, yeah. So we went there, but we were on like this elevated point, and we looked out and you just see it's just like land, but it's beautiful land.
There was the water there too.
The
which
water
is
was
where
there.
we snorkeled later.
We'll get into that. That's another crazy thing. But we started with that, and then from there we went straight to...
It was a little too dark to see things though.
It was.
But we said to ourselves, we'll be back here tomorrow, Friday, and we'll be able to see this and appreciate it more when it's brighter.
And we did. But the Silfra was the first stop, and then the second stop, what was the second stop? Oh, the geysers.
The second stop was the geyser?
Yeah. Because remember we stopped and we got breakfast at that spot, at that geyser spot. That was around like 8:10.
We didn't go to a waterfall before?
No.
It was the geyser.
Yeah. The waterfall was after the snowmobiling. Remember?
Yes, on the way home. Yeah.
So
okay.
the second stop was geysers. It was like these obviously everything's geothermal there, but like it was like shooting up water on a pretty frequent basis actually, and it stunk of fucking sulfur.
Yeah, that was yeah.
It was
that
bad.
Was stinky.
Yeah, and it was cool because like the water is running, right? And it's obviously like this boiling, scalding hot water, so it would carve like paths through ice and snow that
Yeah.
was already on the ground. They tape off, they fence off where you can and can't go because obviously there's like
wanna
mud
get
and
burned.
yeah, you don't want to get fucking traumatized with that shit. So
Do you have
we were,
videos of that?
I have videos of all this and pictures,
Okay.
so I'll put this up.
Andy took a picture of Kelly and I, a video of Kelly and I just like waiting for the geyser to happen. So Andy was just like recording us, and we were just like kind of looking at the geyser, looking at the camera, just like waiting for it to go off. So then it went off, and then we had a video of us like, ooh, like
Yeah.
seeing the geyser go off. So that was a cool video.
We had a video. We had actually a pretty similar video where I put down the phone to record, and then I just went off with Hannah, and then we were like just chilling. I'll put the video up now. And then coincidentally, right when Miguel, Erica, and Vishal
Passed.
like passed and got up to us, and we're like, "Oh, what's up?" The geyser goes off, and then we're like, "Oh," we start jumping.
Did you get it? Or did they
Yeah,
block
I got
you?
it. No, I got it.
Okay.
And then like I kissed Hannah, and then as I kissed Hannah, trying to make a cute video, the fucking water, that stinky egg water, the mist, it starts raining down on us, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And like you'll see it in the video. It was funny the way we reacted, but yeah, that was cool. That was nice, right? We got to see that, and then from there we got back in the bus, went over to another meetup point where we got in this like these. How would you describe the fucking truck that we got?
It
in?
looked like a school bus with monster truck tires.
Yeah, basically that. This thing was built for like just tundra. It was insane. So we got there because it's now part for our time for our snowmobile excursion. So we get there. It's so much driving.
It was weird. Yeah, it was weird the way it went because we got off of the tour bus to the monster school bus.
Yep.
We then drove up the mountains.
Through private roads that public does not have access
Not up
to.
the mountain, up the glacier.
Oh yeah,
pretty
it was
much,
up the
right?
glacier. Yeah,
We were
yeah.
driving up the glacier, and then we stopped at a little hut where we had to suit up. and get all of our stuff on that we
It was base camp 1.
We were stiff, like we were just like with all the layers that we had. Then we got back and drove more to then where the snowmobiles were. But that drive was actually beautiful.
It was insane.
That drive was beautiful.
And the road is not like paved. It's just dirt. And like they just know by memory, these people who work here, like this is where I have to go. They do it every day. And they just fucking were taking us through these like hazardous conditions. We get there, we get out, and it's just lines like a convoy of snowmobiles. And he explains us how to drive it. We're like, all right, cool. I'll throw up some footage. But this was, I cannot say this with enough emphasis, for me, the highlight of the entire trip.
Yeah.
It was absurd. Like it felt like some shit out of like a Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah, it was. I wish we like had a little more like free range,
like being able to just direct,
a little bit more.
Yeah, we had to stay in a line, which is like single file line, which is again for like our safety or whatever. But
because then imagine how hard it would be to keep track of everyone. If someone gets lost, you're done.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably trackers in the snowmobiles. Anyway,
I hope there is.
Regardless,
but we went. And you go ahead, like tell the perspective of like getting to whip through on like the snowmobile.
Yeah, so you know what's funny too? When all the snowmobiles were lined up, it was like 3 rows of them, and then everyone was grabbing their snowmobiles and they were just sending them off, like boof boof boof, and then the next one's and then you know what I'm saying? Like the 3 rows, and then they would send off, and they would just send them off, and then they would get in the convoy. We really could have gone. Each of us had our own snowmobile. I feel like we could have done that.
Oh yeah, for sure. There were leftover snowmobiles.
At the same time, like it was nice being with your partner.
Yeah,
you know, and
were you talking?
Yeah, you talk and like the experience is a little more memorable because you do it that closely with someone else.
Yeah,
you know.
And Hannah, like I was driving, and at one point, like they said to just stay equidistant from each other the whole time, but then I was like, we let the person in front lag a little bit. Everyone was doing this. And then you would just gun it.
Yeah.
I hit like 38 was my top. What was your top? Kilometers per hour.
Yeah, kilometers per hour. So I don't even know what that is for mile. I'd have to do a conversion. But so my max was, I think, we watched the video. I think it was 61. Yeah.
That's like 40 something if I had to guess. Like 40 something miles
per hour, 2 miles per hour. 38.
So 38 miles per hour.
But on like snow and like
not like good terrain. Like it's like we're going like this up a mountain. You'll see in the video. It's amazing.
One thing that they did say was on the turns you have to lean as counterweight because if not, your snowmobile can just boop topple over and land on you.
Yeah.
So like that part was a little scary, but we were all like exaggerating the lean so much just to feel more like
experts. Yeah.
You know,
like they literally said all we had to do was just like put our shoulders over like the center of the snowmobile.
Yeah. So if you're turning left, you'll fly off right.
Yeah.
If you're turning left, you're going to go. Whoosh. So you have to go left and just like lean into the turn.
Yeah.
And if you're turning right, lean into the turn.
But we were being extra to the point where like we kind of stand up and then we put our ass and then be like this.
Yeah.
Like so far removed.
But it was fun.
Like
it was so much fun doing that.
Yeah, but it's like we're trying to look like James Bond out here and like doing all that shit. It was really fun. You stood up at one point.
Yeah, I was standing up and Kel was like, sit down.
Yeah, like it was so much fun. And then we get to the picture point. That shit was crazy. That was like on a top of like a dune.
Yeah.
Not a dune, but like a mountain.
You look like you were at the outlook.
Yeah.
Of the glacier.
Yeah.
Like it slowly drifted off downward and then there was mountains in the distance. The sun was just like beautifully in the sky, that it would light up the sky in like the different colors. That was just beautiful. You really felt like you were on like just a snowy mountainous planet.
It was insane. And the crazy thing too is like when we were driving, I had a GoPro. That's how I captured most of this footage. Hannah couldn't. The person in the back also had to lean, and it was like because you're not the one in control, so you're not anticipating these movements. It's like hard to be like stable. I had wanted her to record me driving because I had a handle on my GoPro, but she couldn't. So I ended up just sticking it in my fucking pocket. When it was my turn to be in the back and Hannah was driving, I recorded her and I got some fucking crazy shots. Yeah. There's like a shot of 2 snowmobiles in front of us and they're kicking up the snow, but there was wind that was kicking in at the same time. So you see like the trail off the snowmobile, the snow getting carried off, and we're just driving. I'll throw all this shit in right now. There was also that I love this video with a passion. when we were at the Outlook, the photo op area. I took some amazing pictures with Hannah where we're just like sitting on the snow and the sun is in the background, the mountains. I'll throw those up too. But the really dope video that I'll put up on the screen.
Was it the jump one? Or?
It was like, yeah, like when all of us were huddled up and like on a knee, like fucking explorers, like old timey explorers.
Yeah.
And I propped it up
nice.
on a bag on Hannah's little like a backpack, and I ran out to you guys. Then we're like, all right, let's get up and jump. Oh wow, we get up and we jump, and it's like
we jumped like a whole 3 inches off the ground.
yeah, because we were so heavy with the equipment that was on us,
and then you
stiff.
jump and you just push into the snow too. So
Yeah,
it's not
so
like
it's
you go up.
you're not getting no hops on that.
0 hops.
But it
bro.
was a blast. So that video was like
But-
really
and
amazing.
then so after the photo op, then we switched drivers. Mm-hmm. So I drove there, you drove there, Andy drove there, Miguel drove there. Vishal had his own, which was cool. And then on the way back, we switched. So Kelly drove on the way back, Hannah drove on the way back, Sandra drove on the way back, Erica drove on the way back. So I actually really, it may sound weird, but I really enjoyed not driving.
I preferred not driving.
No, I prefer driving.
Yeah.
But you can just take it all in
Yeah, that's why I prefer
when you're in the
not
back
driving.
and you just look around. And I had my visor up because I didn't want anything just obstructing the beautiful view.
Yeah.
I had the visor up. I was taking the cold to the face, but like that cold and the views, it just made you feel alive.
It hits different. It just
So
hit different.
yeah, so Kelly was going, and like at the beginning she was a little nervous about it,
Yeah.
right? I'm sure
Everyone was, yeah.
and like then the same thing I was doing, just backing off a little bit to then gun it. She also hit like 62. I think she hit 60 flat. I think she hit 60 flat. If you remember, there was the end part. We were watching some of the footage. The end part where it was a little downhill, and then we turned right alongside the mountain, almost towards the end.
Yeah.
That's where we hit that top
straightaway.
speed. Yeah, yeah.
It was fucking crazy. And I did enjoy. You'd enjoy driving. I liked driving, but when you're driving, you're so focused on like because also one thing they don't tell you is like the treads, right? It's actually more unstable, I felt, to drive in the treads because it's uneven.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to be exactly in line
And
with
you're
the treads.
and you're deeply in the groove, so turning out of the grooves
It's
is harder
pretty hard,
too.
yeah. So you're so focused on that in front of you that you don't take into account at least me.
Yeah, you're
all
kinda like
this other
watching the
shit.
treads, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to
Watching
make sure
the
that
people
we were
in front of
flipping and
you,
stuff.
make sure you don't hit anyone.
Exactly. And then when Hannah was driving, I was just in the back and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is
Yeah.
like, we're in the middle of nowhere, Iceland, snowmobiling on a glacier, like in the dead of winter with the most like absurd like ice gear fucking shit, helmets with like the visors. Like, you feel like you're literally just in a movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
It was amazing.
It was crazy.
It was amazing.
It was crazy. Then we get back. We take off all this fucking gear. I was sweaty as fuck. Like my helmet. I had helmet hair, you know? It's
Yeah.
like the thing. And one thing we didn't talk about actually, like driving the snowmobile, your thumb.
Yeah. I wasn't even going to say, but yeah. So I had my regular thin gloves, casual gloves, and then over them, I had the heavy duty mittens that they gave me. But the mittens were small, where like the thumb of the mitten didn't attach too much. So I felt like my thumb was like this in the mitten. So I like just had to clip it the edge of the throttle, because the throttle is a button. It's not a twist throttle. It's a button.
Or like a
on the
lever.
right. It's a lever on the right hand that you press with your thumb. So I was like, I can't do it with this small mitten.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take this mitten off. And then I unzipped it. I put it inside. Or I think I gave it to Kelly, actually. I think I gave it to Kelly. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think I did. And then I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go with my regular casual glove. My thumb, I kid you not, and I don't want to sound like this is at risk of sounding like you
Like
here.
me.
The coldest my thumb has
ever
ever
been.
felt in my entire life. To the point where it felt like a few more, like if I was another like 15 minutes, I would have had to
Frostbite.
amputate it.
Are you
Like just
serious?
gone. I would have been like,
Wait, where did the pain end? Like on the thumb, like the coldness.
bro, it went
All the way down to here?
because you're moving it. It felt like I was like shattering my blood vessels by
fuck
moving
that.
it. That's
Capillaries
how frozen.
Fuck
That's
that.
how frozen my thumb was. So I was like, I told Cal, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
So that's why you
I
switched
cannot
out.
do this anymore. So at one point, I was like, Kelly, let me get the glove. I grabbed the throttle with my left hand and I crossed. And I was pressing the throttle with like my palm. I got the thing, got the mitten, held it with my mouth, did it. I was like, oh my God, my hand hurts so much. So then I told Kelly, I was like, Kelly, can you like grab the throttle and do it? She tried. She couldn't reach because we're all like puffed up. But then like I just gunned it for a little bit and then let my momentum carry me. And I just
You put your mitten back
on. And then I just had to deal with it. But bro, even when I put the mitten on, it hurt so much.
That's the thing. It's like once you're cold, you put something on
so much. It was really painful.
Your forearm didn't burn. My forearm was on fire.
I had a bigger pain that I was dealing with.
Yeah, that's true. I guess when your thumb feels like it's gonna.
But
freeze
I did
off.
notice that. I did notice that it was really hard to like turn.
Yeah, it was super hard to turn.
I think I got caught in like the deepest of treads, so I did like an undergrip and an overgrip and just
Yeah, no, the guy literally said
tight.
that there's no power steering on these things, and to turn it,
Yeah.
if you're not with momentum,
it's like really hard.
he said it's like 500 pounds of torque that you'd have to crank to move the fucking snowmobile to get it to actually turn.
Yeah, so
there's no power
so
steering.
you had to move it while you were. You had to turn while you were moving.
While you were like had momentum. So it was like a crazy experience. We got back, we take off all this shit. We get back we get back to like where we drop off the snowmobiles, get back in the truck, drive to base camp 1, take off our stuff, get back in the fucking monster truck, drive all the way. It was like a 40 minute drive down the glacier back to the original pickup point. And then at that point, we get back to the tour bus, which takes us to a waterfall.
Yeah.
Which was like the craziest waterfall in terms of like the sheer size of it. You remember how big that fucking thing was?
No.
Yeah, it was.
Not bigger than the first one.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
I don't have my... Dude, it was... I don't know if you saw it then.
That was the one that...
It was a river growing into it.
There was a little bridge, the frozen bridge.
No. That was the last one on the South of Iceland tour. The one I'm talking about is where it was like the level here, and then you can take stairs down, and it's like the fucking Niagara Falls.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
yes,
so that one was
waterfall.
crazy. I'll throw up pictures again.
Okay.
And that's there.
Yeah, it was 2 levels to it. You could go down the stairs or you can go up.
And you remember what I said to you? I remember this. There's no wildlife, no vegetation, and out of nowhere, a fucking raven as we were walking.
Oh yeah,
started
and then
flying overhead.
We turned to each other and we're like, Odin's raven.
Eyes. Yeah, that's like Odin's ravens right there. So
yeah.
that was sick. Like, and we saw that waterfall. It was amazing. Then that wrapped up the Golden Circle tour, that was a great tour.
Yeah.
We were fucking exhausted, like so tired. On the first tour, there was these 2 French girls that like were mad obnoxious.
Oh my
And we like called one of them like Jormunganders and shit.
Oh my God.
Because she had a hoop earring the size of a fucking dinner plate.
Yeah.
Like the perimeter of like a dinner plate.
It was massive.
Like literally this big. And one of them somehow falls out and she starts howling at like Andy and Sandra who were sitting in front of them. Like, do you see my like hooping hearing anywhere? And she like coughed in Andy's face.
Oh God.
She straight up went like into Andy's face while Andy was talking to her to try to help her out, and Andy was like, "What the fuck?" Like he was just like, "Ain't no way, this bitch just coughed in my face, bro."
Yeah.
It was just crazy. So
what was it? It was like, oh, never mind. I can't say that.
you're talking about the Yorman like
No, like what we said. It was like God of War, Ragnas.
Oh, Ragnas Hope.
No, I don't
remember what it was.
Something
but
like specific.
We were
dragging her.
We were dragging her through the mud. But she deserved it though because she was being ridiculous. I mean, not to her face. It was
she was being very. She was being very loud though. Like
loud and like who coughs in another person's face like a stranger.
That was rough.
Like it was crazy.
So then we got back and I don't really remember
what we did after the Golden Circle tour.
Was that the ice bar or no?
Yeah, that was that night. That was the night that when we got back.
Oh, fish and chips night?
We went to fish and chips. We had a hot dog.
Icelandic
at this, like,
glizzy.
really, that glizzy was...
It was nice.
Glizzy glumptious, bro. That was...
glizzy glumptious.
It was fucking fire. Like
it was good.
It was good. So good. It
had like what was all
it?
Right. The only reason I'm bringing up this damn hot dog is because it's like a pretty big deal, famous thing in Reykjavik. That I don't know how long standing that place is, but like
it has history.
It's very famous, and you look it up on YouTube. It's there. It's like the famous hot dog stand. They close for like 3 hours a day.
Yeah,
like they're open all the time, and it was the hot dog with like crispy onions, like a sweet mustard, a type of relish, and then like a mayonnaise type base thing. So obviously, you know, I got it with the works. You also got it with the works.
Yep, full thing.
Kelly
I had
got
2 of them
one
bitches.
without something. She either I don't think she
Crispy
got
onions?
I don't think she got the mustard. Either she didn't get the mustard, or she didn't get the mayonnaise. She got the one with the relish, I believe. Anyway, Vishal had one. Did Hannah or no?
She
She tried some of yours.
Yeah, she
right?
split. So I got 2 for me and Hannah and Vishal. Hannah and Vishal split like half of the first one, and then I had like a full one to myself.
So we hit that card up. It was the famous card, and it was good. It was pleasantly
good.
surprised.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was cheap, well, like $3.50 USD.
And then we went to a fish and chip spot. Fish and chips in Iceland, farly underrated. They were really good. It was pretty good.
We did the ice bar before that, didn't we? Or we did the ice bar after? Before. You know why? Because I was falling asleep.
Okay, so
at
we
the
did
table.
we did do the ice bar before.
So we did the ice bar before, and the ice bar was pretty cool. It was a little smaller than I thought it was gonna be.
It was smaller than.
But it was cool because everything was frozen, and it's crazy because like, you know what? Was that Thursday or Friday?
Thursday. That was when the Golden Circle tour was.
All right. Well, we were all freezing in the cold, and we were out in the elements, and then we're like, all right, you know what? Let's just try this ice bar. It's a pretty famous spot. So it was cool. I'm glad we did it, you know, but it was smaller than expected. They give you like a throw over, like, you know, those NFL jackets that the quarterbacks like throw over them.
Yeah.
That's what they gave us. I mean, you obviously were there. And then they gave us our drinks in a ice cup.
It was like a snow cone,
You know the
but
paper
glass.
cups that you pull from the thing and you fill the water in it? It's a
Yeah, yeah.
conical cups.
Yeah.
It was that, but in ice.
And then they put that in a normal glass, obviously, so it doesn't spill. And it was good. It was cool. But there were some like cool sculptures.
Little underwhelming.
Yeah, I thought it was just gonna be bigger.
Yeah.
It was like kind of small. Like,
And there weren't too many people in there either.
Yeah,
There was like 4 other
the
people in
fucking
there.
bartender wasn't even behind the bar when we got in there. We're like, who? And then he just came out the back room. Was like he rolled out the fucking back.
He probably doesn't want to be in the cold all the time.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true, 100%. So then we ended up just having the ice bar. Then we made our way over to fish and chips. And then at this point, we were so fucking tired.
Oh my God.
I have a video, but I don't know.
Let's
if I'm allowed
not.
to put
Just
that
don't
up.
do me dirty. Don't. I was like,
We'll see in post if I could convince him later to just let me put this one up there because it was so funny.
I don't know, man.
You were really tired.
I was so tired that I looked like I was drugged out. I looked like I was on crack.
Yeah, like he was just doing this thing.
I looked like a meth head.
Like you were just like laying back on the thing, and you were just like.
No, it was way worse than
Like-
that. I was like rocking. I was just like.
Yeah, and then he got up, out of when we were getting up to leave, and he fucking.
And it was right after Vishal hit his head too.
Oh yeah, that's what.
Vishal hit his head. I was like, "Ah, you hit your head."
And then he goes to get up
But I cracked it way harder
because you got up like full force, like you just got up like you're getting up like
and I
normal.
also
boom.
like am taller than him, so
Yeah.
like
It just went through. And then the shit was like to the point where the fucking lamp is like shaking, like swaying. And he was like, oh, what the fuck? And we're just like, oh shit. Like, oh my God. Like, what the fuck just happened? It was good. Then we got back.
We got back and then we just crashed.
Yep.
After that,
and then the
right?
next day, Jesus fucking Christ. The next
We're
day
on
and the next
Friday
day.
now.
Snorkeling.
Snorkeling. My God. This is
This is
such
gonna
a
be a two-part.
long. This is such
It's
a
going to
long
be a 2-part for sure.
I feel bad. It's so long. But
Nah,
we did a lot.
No, yeah, we did do a lot.
did a
It's going to be a
lot.
2-part. It's going to be a 2-part.
I guess it's good to cement these memories.
100%.
You know, somewhere. Because sometime down the line, we're like, wait, what do we do? What day? What?
Yeah. And then now it's all documented
So
here.
it's all documented.
So Friday
That's
we get
nice.
up, and we didn't have to get up too early for that. That was like yeah, it wasn't too early because the sun was already out when we were leaving.
Yeah, because snorkeling was at 1.
Yeah. So we got up and then we drove back.
You remember what we did before?
the bakery, wasn't it?
Didn't we stop at the bakery?
Yeah.
I think we stopped at the bakery.
No, that was after. That was on the way back to the Airbnb because we
Oh,
were
yes,
considering going to
yes,
Reykjavik.
yes, yes,
What
yes,
the
yes,
fuck did
yes,
we do
yes.
before? No, we just slept in. That was a night that we just slept in.
Okay.
I woke up like
I remember.
late, like
I remember. Yeah.
like
yeah,
disheveled. I was like I was just
Yeah.
like putting on fucking
Yeah, that's
clothes.
right.
And then we get in the car. We drive like 25 minutes again. Actually, the same fucking road that we took to go see
The Northern Lights.
Northern Lights, where we did like the Northern Light chasing adventure, where our car got stuck. We took that same road, but just far to go to what was it? Silfra, which is like this tectonic meeting of two tectonic plates. It's
It
like
was
the
the-
Eurasian and the North American tectonic plate. And we pulled up to this like we went down. So where the tour bus dropped us off in the day prior when it was dark, as he had mentioned, it was like on like the high end of
where
park.
the store was and the gift shop,
like the outlook, so you could see all of the national park. Where we had went was in the actual like in the
divot,
like the divot
by the water,
and there was like a little parking lot where these like trucks, like these box trucks, were all posted up from different tour companies that did these snorkeling experiences. So I'll let you go and take it away.
Yeah, so we got there. So when we got there, something happened where Kelly gave me something to put in the bag, and I don't think I put her thing in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was an extra layer of clothes that she wanted to bring, or some extra socks or something.
Thermals?
Something. And I didn't bring it. And like, I was like, damn, like I felt bad about that. She was a good sport about it, but you know, they gave us a bunch of stuff to put on anyway. But that part's important for later on in the story.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind that I forgot to bring, you know, her extra articles of clothing.
Like layer of like insulation, basically.
So we're walking to the place and we're like, damn, it's cold as hell today.
Crazy.
And we were like, and we're going to get in this water and swim. So this is when the nerves for me were kind of setting in. I was getting a little nervous.
Yeah, it's glacial. It's runoff from a glacial.
37 degrees.
Yeah.
37 degrees
Fahrenheit.
glacial runoff water. That it'll give you hypothermia in about what?
Like
2 minutes?
Oh,
3 minutes?
yeah, but like your system just start. If you were to go in there with nothing, you're going shock and you can't swim and you freeze
done.
up.
You're gonna lock up and you won't be able to swim.
Yeah, no, it's bad. It was really fucking cold. So go ahead.
So we get there, we talk to the people, and then they have us get into the suits.
Mm-hmm.
So
The dry suit.
Yeah, it was a dry suit. It's a dry suit because you needed to layer up so that you don't get wet while under the water.
Like they told us leave on like thermals or any like first layer of clothing you have on,
and that's it.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
And then they give you like an insulation layer, and then you put on like the actual dry suit over that.
So putting that thing on. So all right. So you know, like the food delivery trucks that they drop off shipments.
Mm-hmm.
We had to step up into it and step up again. It was the back of an insulated like little
box
cargo truck, box truck. And they had all the suits lined up. They had the inside layer and then the outside layer. So we put it on and it was so tight. And we actually put the first half of it on out. Well, no, we put the first half on it inside the truck. Yeah. And then the second half was outside. But we put it on and you have pictures of all that too.
Yeah.
The things were so tight and they hugged all of your ankles,
and
your wrists, and your neck so that no water can get through. Because if water gets through, you're screwed.
Like fucking tight, guys. Like tight.
So then they put your wrist on and they put a wrist strap on you. Same thing for your ankles. And then the neck. It was like a turtleneck, but of like a stretchy, like leathery, tight material.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put a collar around your neck so that no water gets down. And it was right. I talk different when I touch my throat. It was right on my Adam's apple.
Yeah.
So I would move my throat and I felt my Adam's apple go click, 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 click.
Your
click,
goozle
click,
was just
over the collar. And it was so uncomfortable at the beginning that I was like, is it supposed to be this tight?
Yeah, I remember. He was literally like...
Yeah.
He was like that, and I'm like, God, fuck, it's that bad? I looked at him, I'm like, it's that bad?
Bro, and then, you remember what I did? I was like, this is going to choke me out. And I was like, and they're like, don't joke around about that.
Oh, yeah, because then if that happens in the water,
like, that's scary.
Like, that's pretty fucking bad.
So they're like, don't joke. And I was like, all right, my bad. That's true. I probably shouldn't.
And then when they put it on me, I don't know if it's because I don't have as a pronounced like Adam's apple, or if it's just because I have like a fat fucking neck. When they put it around me, I was expecting to be like, he put it around me. I'm like, I'm chilling. I was just like, I'm good.
I think he got me like one notch too tight.
He probably did fucking crank your shit, because then that's under the then like condom topper.
Yeah.
Fucking
Oh yeah, the
thing.
headpiece that you look like you were robbing a convenience store.
I have so much face meat. I'll put
That
that up.
was funny.
I will put that up. I have no shame about this. I'll put this up. My fucking face was just smushed because you put it on and then the little opening, all your fucking matter
they
is
have
trying
to put it on.
shoot out of that fucking hole. So I was just like,
all your face meat.
I was literally just like
Yeah.
because
You know when you like put something tight on, it just shifts the stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like girls put the thingy on
Yeah.
and then it's just like whoop.
Yeah.
And then like that's what it felt on your
like
neck.
this, and then this shit coming on, and it
So
squeezed
the
everything.
thing that you didn't say is that they're putting this stuff on for you.
Oh yeah, you can't do it on by yourself.
way. I mean, they were experts, so they were able to put it on themselves.
No, but their suits were also like
slightly different.
and custom fitted.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like it was for them
You
specifically.
like to put these articles of clothing on yourself. I would get claustrophobic.
Have you ever cramped up trying to take off your
Yes.
jacket?
Yeah.
This would fucking fuck your muscles
Yeah.
up. Like it would like
So the guy got the headpiece and he's like, okay, look down, and he goes, and he just like muscles it over
and
you.
you're just like
yeah.
you're like getting birthed out.
And then you just see like the little sliver of light at the top. And you're like, that's where I'm going.
And then your
Just
face
come
just
out of it.
explodes out. And then for me, after like my eyes made it through, then I just felt and then all the shit just
And
mushed
then
out.
meanwhile, your ears are just like completely covered.
Yeah, you can't hear dick. Yo,
can't
like
hear
it's
anything.
so muffled. It's like literally if you just take your hands and put it over your ears
Oh
and
my
press.
God.
It was fucking it was difficult to it was just such a strange experience getting all
Yeah.
that clothes on.
So that was the underlayer, the warm layer, right? They
No,
said?
no. The condom after that was also like that was after. Because
No,
remember,
it was not.
It was.
The headpiece was inside the van.
Yeah, because we put the underlayer, went back out, put our bottoms on first,
Oh, okay.
then climbed up, then put the top in.
You sure about that?
Yeah, because then
We have the pictures.
He was showing us like at
mat?
that point he was
The
holding
mat?
it, so we were out of the cold. He was like, "All right, we're gonna do this. This is like
Okay.
the precautionary
All right, fair
things,
enough.
all that
But
stuff."
like when we put all the stuff on, Kelly's was so tight that she couldn't even reach her ponytail
Yeah.
in the back.
To take
that I
off
had
her
to
thing.
grab her elbow and like push it so she could reach her ponytail.
Yeah, it was fucking
She was just
insanely
like
tight.
like super stiff like that.
It was crazy.
But we kind of felt like ninjas and Power Rangers.
You felt like that. He was going. I'll throw the video off the GoPro, but you could see he was pretty good. Kelly was stiff. I was
Kelly was
not
stiff.
as stiff as Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly was the most stiff.
Yeah, hers was insanely tight. Like she couldn't move.
She was rigid.
I was rigid, but I wasn't like that restricted in motion.
Yeah.
And then after we got all that on, we got like they were doing like our tour guide was so cool. They were both I think French, but our tour
was
guide his name
Leo.
was like Leo, and he gave us
dude.
like these the snorkeling masks, and we had to wash them with like soap. What was the shit that we were saying?
It was baby soap, baby shampoo with water for the anti-fog agent. And we were like, this is the snorkelussy or
Snorgussy or snorkelgussy. And we're like doing this one.
and the nose piece.
And the water would like come
Spurt
like
up.
spurt up, so it like kind of looked like if you make a girl, like squirt or whatever. And we were doing this, and it's like, and we're like, that's
And the guy looked over and was like, it's good to have a lively bunch sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
we don't get lively bunches.
was-
It's refreshing to see. And we're like,
He was
okay.
laughing. He was like, these fucking degenerates. Like he was just laughing. So it was a blast of a time. Then we get our fucking flippers on. We took a couple pictures. I'll
We
throw
took
those
pictures.
up too.
Oh, and you hurt your back. when
Oh,
you
I
were-
did. Yeah, I fucked up my
Do
back.
you
I was
have-
trying to. Yeah,
do you have that? 'Cause I can
yeah,
send it to
I'll
you.
put it. I'll put it up. I'll put it up right now. Actually,
How do you get a back cramp before getting in the
I
water?
have no idea, but it was bad, y'all. Like it went all the way down to like my tailbone. Like it was like mid lumbar
Sheesh.
all the way down.
This guy was
You'll
almost
see it.
paralyzed from the waist down.
Yeah, you'll see it.
So that was tragic, but you got over it though.
Yeah, pretty quickly. I
Yeah.
think the cold loosened me up a little bit, or
Cold
something.
loosened you up.
Well,
I think you moved your way
Yeah,
out of it.
maybe.
Anyway.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
then we had to waddle like penguin step down, like these graded steps into the fucking water.
Who was the first in the water?
Kelly was the first, then
first.
you, and then it was me.
You were last.
I was last because I had my own GoPro. And I was
you're
recording
right.
everything.
Yeah, Kelly's definitely a trooper. She kind of just like goes for things and just like jumps in the water. And
She went in?
She was like, she did the fermented shark, and she was the first one in the freezing water. So
What's that like going into it?
That's what I was gonna say, right? So when you're all garbed up and you have gloves on, you have everything, you have the snorkel, the feet, The only thing that's truly nakedly exposed to that cold water is your face.
Yeah.
And not even all of your face. It's a little line on your forehead here, but then it's your lips and a little up here.
Mm-hmm.
We have pictures of our lips after that.
It's insane.
So the water itself, if you stay head up, you don't even feel the water temperature. You don't.
Yeah, you don't.
And there's an air pocket in your thing, so you're buoyant. You don't even have to like
Extremely
try to
buoyant.
float.
Like you can't go under the
your
water.
nipples are like above the water
Yeah.
almost. That's pushing it, but it's like your pec. Half of your
Yeah.
pec is up on the water, and like you just chill there. So once you submerge your face, it just your face goes numb within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, it hurts a lot because it's like super cold. So it's not truly numb. Like it's still that pain of the cold, but your lips swell up. You look like you got like lip injections and lip fillers. And it was just a really weird feeling with all that cold. But the rest of it was good. Like you didn't really feel that. You didn't feel that much cold except here. But going in that water initially, you get that jolt of cold, but then you see the clear blue rocks, these tectonic plates. The visibility was 80 to 100 meters.
It was insanely clear.
So it's almost like 240 to 300 feet of
Something
visibility
like that,
under the water. And it was beautiful. That
It was
first,
really nice.
and your GoPro kind of captured that well. Your first dive into the water where you go, and you just see everything, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like it's just, you just feel like you're just, it's just so hard to explain.
It's like you're on another planet, but then like the water aspect of another planet. Literally, it's kind of just like
if you put that
I'll
clip
put all of it
the,
up there
of the GoPro, like of you getting in,
Yeah.
that's like the best way for them to kind of like understand.
It's just
how
being
it felt.
exposed to that for the first time is insane. And the really crazy thing too is like when you get in the water and you're swimming, even in the water it's cool. Everything under the water is definitely like the main like meat and potatoes of the show. But then when you peek your head up or like you flip on your back, you're in a fucking chasm where there's rocks and then snow, and then like if you look,
That's a national
shooting
park.
like if you look shooting down the chasm, like the straightaway, there's water which you're diving in, but then there's like mountains and like
Yeah, it's a
it's
beautiful
just
national
insane.
park.
Like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Those 2 days, Thursdays with snowmobiling, and then
Friday,
couple it with
yeah.
the fucking snorkeling it's incredible. Like I
1-2
can't
punch.
even believe that.
Yeah.
And it was only me, Kelly, and Mike doing it because the rest of the group had actually gone to go see like an ice cave, and their experience. I might have
was a
whenever I have
volcanic
a shot,
cave.
volcanic cave. They said it was crazy. Like it was a whole other different type of sensation. I don't want to go into
Yeah.
that because it's their story to tell when I have them on. But as far as the snorkeling is concerned, it was crazy. It was probably the whole thing lasted like 45 minutes.
No, longer.
An
Like
hour?
in the water?
Yeah, in the water.
Oh, in the water, probably like 45. Yeah.
40, something like that. And then when we got, he said like you can drink the fucking water as we're going, which I did.
Yeah,
And-
I
but
did
it was
too.
it was kind of hard to because it's so cold. You're like
yeah.
you're like what the fuck?
No,
And
but
then-
but once you get out, I think it's hard because you have the mask and the snorkel and everything. But like to go underwater and just like a fish, it just feels unnatural. Right?
yeah, it does because you're.
So, but once you get over that, like that water was amazing.
It was crisp.
It was amazing.
There was
I gotta
also
say.
ducks in the fucking water. And
Their
they were,
little- their little
like you see
feet
their
were-
little flippers going and they shit in it, right? But it's like, honestly,
It's probably parts per million. Is
yeah, like it's so low.
so
and not to
low.
mention that there is a constant stream
Yeah.
of this. It's very slow. It's not like white water rafting or something, but it's
But
like
yeah, if you don't move, you slowly
do.
just go like that.
you get carried.
Little bit.
Yeah, and that's like that's literally just constant glacial runoff. So you're just drinking fucking water from like
A glacier.
pure like Iceland glacier water.
And then it comes down and it's filtered by the volcanic rock and
Yep.
everything. So it's just perfect water. It's like the
insane.
best water in the world.
it's
right there.
insane. It's fucking crazy.
So little by little we're going down and like I see Kelly kind of like moving a little bit and stuff. And once again, you know, Kelly's a trooper, so we were like, "Are you good?" And she was like, "I got water in my suit." So she drops.
Which, by the way, they said beforehand, tell us if that happens, because that's the one thing that's like should not
that's
happen.
like unbearable.
Yeah,
cold.
like the dry suit's meant to keep you dry. The second you got like a leak,
It'll just
that's
like
when
start pulling in because that's how water works. It'll just start,
and then that's how like you start getting like your core body temperature starts fucking dropping like quick. So go ahead.
So yeah, she had one of the band. We found out later, one of the wristbands wasn't on correctly. That was the problem. But she also had entrance. She got screwed.
On her leg and her hamstring.
So on her hamstring. So the wrist thing wasn't on right. So water went down her elbow to like her armpit area. So her hands were all frozen. And then I think it was the opposite leg by the hamstring. The suit looked like it was like abrased or like scratched. So that like the water was slowly like leaking through that spot. So she was like, I didn't know until we got to that end open area.
Yeah.
So she's like, she was like, how you guys feeling? And we're like, oh, I feel good. Like, we're good. How about you? And she was like, I'm freezing. I got water in my suit. And so we were just like, what? No way. Really? Like, how bad? She was like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good. And then I told her, I was like, hey, let's just get out. Like, it's fine. Like, it's no big deal. She was like, no, like, I'm good for a little bit. So she was toughing it out like crazy. So we ended up going a tiny bit over to like this baby Silfra, they said, which is a like little, the newest like crack.
Yeah.
It was the newest crack that happened of the tectonic plates. So then we started swimming over, and then at that point, Kale was like, I'm sorry, I just can't do this. And I was like, of course, you have 37-degree water.
Like
you're freezing.
Like frostbite could potentially be setting in like very shortly after if you don't get yourself out of that situation.
So she gets out, and we have eventually get out. And the thing about the gloves is that your hands are exposed to water, but the water in your gloves is like it's just like localized water. So your hand warms up the water in your mittens, right? That was for us. But Kelly was just having fresh, clean water going through her mittens and into her suit. Like pretty much, I don't know when it started, but she got screwed. So she was walking over back to the little cart thing, and like so stiff. And I just was helping her with the stuff because like imagine the pain. Imagine that. No, like, that must suck. That
put
must
your
have
hand
taken
in
from
ice
her
water.
whole experience.
Literally, just put your hand in ice water. You're not gonna last like 10+ minutes. She was 45 minutes in this shit with leaks in her left side and then right like leg. And when we got out, like I didn't know she's a tough cookie, so I didn't know like how bad the situation was because she wouldn't say like how bad it was. I didn't realize how bad it was until when we got back in the box truck and we were taking our shit off. And we did it
outside. That was outside of the box truck.
Oh yeah.
Because we had to. Why did we do that? Oh, because we were all wet. So yeah, they pulled off her mittens, and her hands. She's fair skinned. Her hands were the most red I've ever seen them, and to the point where she could not move her hands.
Yeah, like if you were to try with all your might to just close your hand, because all of her fine motor, it's just like it's just done. It's just fucking frozen. Actually, you said they were red at certain points. Like, the white. Outermost tips of her fingers were like pale.
Yeah, that's scary.
It was looking like on the precipice of dying.
Like retreating the blood so much.
Like where it's just at that point it's completely like frozen through.
So I was just like holding her hands and trying to warm her up and stuff and just like getting things off as quickly as she could to go back into the cart. So we all took our stuff, and this is where I screwed up. I forgot her extra layers.
So that's where he was talking about before.
That's why I mentioned it before. So I forgot her extra layers, and I felt terrible at this point. So I just took off my stuff, and I was like, you know what? Here, you're putting on my stuff. That's the end of it. And then if you remember, I gave her my stuff. I gave her my jacket, and I gave her my sweats, and I gave her my pants. So I went out there, and I was just out in like thermal pants.
Like where like you could see like if they were lighter colored, like not black, you could have seen like a dick print. He was walking around with that.
My coat was like right here,
right at the cutoff of like ball, like cock and balls, and he was walking around like in those tights, like Peter Pan.
Yeah,
in like bakeries, like we're like getting bakeries, like. He was like, it's pretty good. And like his fucking if he just goes like this, his cock is out. Like it's crazy. It was fucking crazy.
But I felt so bad, so I gave her my stuff and I did that, whatever. And like eventually she warmed up, but I felt so bad because that definitely took away from her experience.
Dude, it was so bad. Her hand was so. I'm convinced that literally, if it was a couple more minutes, it would have had to been like irreparable damage. Where like
she would have gotten frostbite.
Yeah,
not,
like legitimately.
not like she would have gotten frostbite. She wouldn't have to cut anything off.
But that's like you got to start taking like tissue off if it gets
not
to
necessarily.
The point. No,
not you could get frostbite and be fine.
Her hand was stiff, and in the car we had the heat blasting, and she was for several minutes after already getting out of the water and taking off all the shit, had to keep her hand like on the vent,
and that's still painful too.
Yeah, to dethaw your
because then
hand.
you're shocking that way too. So very very admirable, very tough. That was hard, and I felt bad for that. But she got over it. She's a tough girl. She got over it, and she was fine. I hope she still enjoyed that. I'm pretty sure she still did.
Yeah, I think so too.
But it definitely took away from what it could have been. Yeah. So then we went to the bakery on the way back, and I was in my freaking skin tight.
Yeah, like long johns.
We got some stuff, and then we headed back.
And then at that point, I think that night we were like so assed out from this trip that we didn't even drink a lot of those bottles that we had brought with us. Well, we drank like most of it, but we just left like some full fucking.
Wasn't that the day we were playing Monopoly Deal?
Yeah,
at the table
so we were just playing
circle?
Monopoly Deal like late into the wee hours, and then we woke up the next morning, went to go eat at like this place called like the Punk Restaurant.
Yeah.
And then after that
was Arctic Char. That was good Arctic Char.
That place had really good food. At that point we were realizing like Reykjavik food scene is actually really
That's the crazy
good.
thing, because I went to Ireland too, and I was like, it's Ireland, like how good could their food be? Their food was great.
Fucking yeah.
And like it's because, and then I went to Croatia and I was like, oh, they must have good food, and their food wasn't that good. The problem is Croatia's tourism was trying to cater to other cuisines
like
instead
American
of doing
palates.
their own.
Like American
They had
palates.
hamburgers, they had Italian food, they had pastas, they had this and that. Like, I'm going to Croatia, I want Croatian food.
Yeah.
So I went to I went to Ireland. I wasn't having anything else but Irish cuisine, Irish food, and I liked that. I really enjoyed all the breads, all the butters, the steaks, the meats. It was awesome. Like the Irish food, it was good, clean. It felt like so pure. It
like
felt amazing.
non-fucking processed and
then
additives and shit.
And then in Iceland, same deal. I'm not going to Iceland to eat a burger, although I did.
That was the first
day. But like, I want to get the cuisine.
And it was
like, stick to your guns, stick to your guns. Do, make your food, make it how it is. And that's what I want. And that's what we got. And it was great.
It was really fucking good. And like, I feel bad because like I said before, this is the last thing we'll say on this trip. Jesus Christ, almost 3 hours long. But we basically like, since they left that Saturday, me and Hannah were then alone for a day and a half because our flight was the next day, right? So we parted ways around like 12. Oh, I didn't even mention, by the way, on Friday we picked up these rings.
Oh,
that we've been wearing the entire time. So we got these rings.
You have the picture, right?
Yeah.
This picture
where we're all holding up like our rings. We got these rings.
I love this ring. And this is like the first ring I've really owned. But like, I haven't taken it off since. I just love the feel.
It's a daily wear.
I love the look. I love the meaning. I love the uniqueness. What it means to like the group and the friends and
just the memories.
This represents Iceland.
Yeah.
We got this in Iceland. All these carvings on here. I don't know if they're Icelandic, but they were made in Iceland.
By an Icelandic jeweler. Handmade.
Dude. And they were oxidized by some sulfuric agent or something like that.
Yeah, so the only thing that tarnishes silver is sulfur, right?
Is that true?
Yeah, the only thing that oxidizes silver. Because that's why Andy was skeptical, like, this isn't silver, why is it this color? So then I Googled it, and the only thing that tarnishes silver or sterling silver is sulfur. Like, literally to the point where if you just get sulfur powder, put it in water, like a tablet, like powder, put it in water, and then you just dip this, it starts oxidizing, like, right away. So literally, like, the ring was dark. After you wash your hands and wear it often, like, it starts becoming shiny again. You can see if I get it really up close to the camera, right?
But the grooves are dark, which is really cool.
Yeah, like the back lay of the ring, I would say. I don't know if you can see that. My voice is probably like pretty far off, but the back lay, like the background of the carvings is a little darker, and the reason that is because it was originally like pretty, like it was dark, it was black.
Yeah.
It was a black and silver ring.
So
And that encapsulates like the vibe of Iceland too, because sulfur is the only thing, and you walk around, you just smell eggs everywhere.
So the people who got this ring was me, you, Kelly, Miguel, Vishal, and Andy.
Yep.
So us 6 got it, and I love the post you did. 6 rings to rule them all.
Oh yeah, that was my Instagram story.
That was a great caption,
dude. The fucking journey to this was on Wednesday. We ordered the rings, but we were running around, bouncing from jeweler to jeweler, going and asking, "Do you have any rings? All right, let's see the rings." We looked at the rings. How much are they? Some of them were like charging up the ass. After going in and out of like 2-3 jewelry stores, maybe even 4 actually, we finally found one where, and it was 30 minutes before closing.
You sniped that out too.
We found it. We walked in.
Fair priced.
Yeah, they were like, I want to say like $28 per ring.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So like very fair price, and it's sterling silver, and it's like not like we're not like gaudy people who are like, oh, we got to get like gold and like it has to be like
$100-something ring.
Yeah, that's stupid. It's more for like what it symbolizes. So we got it, and then on Friday we picked it up, and then because there were like so many activities and not everyone was wearing it, we finally got around to taking the picture where we had all the rings on.
It's crazy because like now I think about this, and this is like quickly becoming one of my favorite possessions. I don't want to be this person, but I'm gonna be this person. The ring thing was my idea because I remember buying something. I bought a hat in London and Scotland, and off doing that, I was like, why the fuck would you buy any souvenirs? Like we got coasters, right? All right, coasters are cool or whatever. But if you get something like that's very like a neck, something that you could wear, every time if you happen to wear it and then you look down and then you're like, well, fuck, that's from this like thing I experienced years ago. And also like 6 of us have it.
Yeah.
So that's a connection like that we'll all always like have.
Because we were on the trip together, and we all have like pretty identical rings. Like the patterns and engravings are pretty similar among each. So
like we could look at the ring and be like, wow, you know, this is what this symbolizes, this great trip. And like the 5 of my other great best friends have this ring.
And we took that picture. I probably threw it up already, but that shit was, so we got that picture, and then after that, you guys split ways. Hannah and I then like went around the town, ate more. Hannah and I condensed because I'm a big foodie, so I was kind of like the main driver of this because Hannah loves food, but she's like really good with this, like traveling. She's very go with the flow. And I was just like, I need to try out like the cuisine, like the food scene here. So we dropped you off when? When did we exactly split ways? Do you remember? Like maybe 2?
Something like that. I really don't
like
remember.
Like 1:45 is when you got it was like 1:45 p.m.
Yeah. That we were talking on the street about like all the timing and everything. Yeah, it was before 2.
So sure. Like 1:40, 1:45, we split ways. And from 1:45 and the rest of that night, Hannah and I visited like 6 bars and restaurants and ate at every single one of them.
That's
like,
pretty cool.
It was like we'd walk in, order something small, go to the next one. I had whale, puffin, which a lot of people are gonna think like I've told this since then.
And they're like, no,
yeah, because it's cute, and I'm like, all right, cows are cute. You fucking murder the fuck out of hamburgers, you hypocritical motherfuckers. Anyways, I ate the shit out of some puffin, and it was delicious. Let me tell you, I think you would like it. It's like the best parts of chicken and beef combined, whatever. So. Had all that, and then there were these dessert donut balls.
Yeah, you've brought that up at least 4 times to me outside of the podcast.
It was crazy. Like we went back there twice in one night because that's how good they were. I'll throw up a picture of that too. And then we went to the hotel that we stayed at was called like the Fisherman's Village. The Aurora Borealis that we got to see there was actually like, I hate to say this again, but it was like the best one out of the 3 sightings that I saw, out of the 2 sightings that we saw. Together.
When was the second one?
The second night of the Airbnb.
Oh yeah.
So you saw them twice. I saw them 3 times.
Because it was more like linear the second day. It was like fall. Right, I remember.
And then the third time was like, I'll put up a picture of this one because the village, that hotel area is like right on the water, facing west off the coast of just basically Iceland. So all the city is like behind you because it's on like a little outreach, right? And then you have the water and the northern lights like stretched across. And the picture's up on the screen. It was good. Again, like not as good as the camera shows it to be. And then after that, we just slept, and then that was it. We went back the next day, and that is basically all of Iceland and every fucking experience that we had there. So very long podcast, probably to date, I think the longest one I've had.
Well, it's got to be split up into 2. There's no way.
It's gonna be a 2-parter, but it's kind of hard because like it's 9 days worth of shit that you're trying to cram into an hour. You can't go into full detail without just like taking your time.
Yeah.
So.
It was a lot. It was we packed our days. We did well with the planning. And these are memories I'm going to have forever.
If you could go back and do one thing differently, would it be like the same thing I would do differently? Just
what would you do differently?
Just sleep more. We did not. The tiredness took away like.
Well, I mean, Definitely.
You're also really good off of low sleep though. Like you average like
during the work week.
Yeah, you're wild. Like he sleeps like 5 hours a night. That's crazy.
Nah, I'd say like 6.
Six. Like
6,
that's still
5.5 to 6.
That's still crazy.
Yeah, but the rest of the day I'm just like tired. But I mean, I still get stuff done. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess of course there's always things that we could have done differently. There's a few things that come up that I could have done differently and we should have done differently. But it's all right. Overall, it was a great trip, and the things we did was very, they were impactful. I'll remember them for the rest of my life. Great memories with pretty much everyone I care about.
Yeah. It was crazy. Besides our like immediate families, obviously.
Exactly. That's what I said. Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, it was awesome, and I'm really happy that we were able to do this.
Yeah. Would you go back? Not in the winter, right?
I go back in the summer if I were to go back.
Yeah.
I think it's too soon to go back.
Yeah.
Like that's probably when I'm like 50 or something later.
Because there's so many other places.
So many other things to see. You don't want to double.
Yeah, that wouldn't really make sense.
Double book. But yeah, hopefully this is not the last group trip.
It won't be. That was crazy. It was hard to plan, obviously 9 people's schedules and itineraries and cram everybody's like to be satisfied in one.
Likes, yeah. So.
Yeah, but all in all, fantastic fucking trip. Thank you for like sitting and recording over the span of 2 fucking days. And if we account for the 45 minutes that we lost,
almost 4 hours.
It's a 4-hour fucking podcast. So thank you. My longest one to date yet. First guest in the new studio. Hopefully it'll improve over time. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, follow, do all that shit, social media shit. And until the next one, cue the outro music.
3, 2, 1.
There you go. All right. Peace.